We kind of left off talking, well, kind of, last time what we talked about was trait explanations and situational explanations. What is a trait explanation?
Saying an event happened because of a person, not the situation.
Because of a person? And so what do you mean by that?
Because it's not what happened to the person, it's the nature of the person, the characteristics of the person.
Yeah, the characteristics of the person. So we're saying people differ in ways that matter, and that those differences are important to marketing and to branding, right? So we talked about a couple of them. Innovativeness, we said, was the preference that some people have to just try new things, and especially technology. This is an iPhone 7, so people who would be high in innovativeness would be, does anyone have a 7 yet? Can you get it yet?
Yeah.
What's that?
It came out tonight.
Oh, they're out today?
Yeah, they just came out.
There's, and no one has one? What's wrong with you guys?
We wouldn't have to skip class.
Let's go pick it up.
Materialism. Let's back up. There we go, materialism. This is an all-chrome BMW. Remember, who recalls what materialism is?
Are they happy in the material goods?
Yeah, you derive happiness from material goods, and you define success in terms of material goods. You sort of look around at your friends and family and sort of gauge their success in life by the material goods they have. Self-monitoring, who recalls what that is?
You act one way with one group of friends and another way with another group.
Yeah, that's it. I think I said they have a flexible definition of themselves, and they sort of adapt to different situations. People who are high in self-monitoring, or people who are self-monitors, they're aware of the situation and they change who they are to fit that situation. This was on Facebook a little while ago. This is right after Florida State won the national championship. Go Noles. But what does this have to do with self-monitoring?
They just want to get it because they won. Right?
Yeah. So self-monitors are going to jump on the bandwagon, right? And so Florida State, where was your Florida State gear before they won, right? Somebody who's a low self-monitor is going to wear their team jersey kind of regardless. But if you're going to kind of jump on the bandwagon, that's sort of a sign of being a self-monitor. Need for cognition. Coke is kind of famous for their very low need for cognition in their advertising, right? It's all affect or emotion. And here's kind of an example of a high need for cognition type advertisement. This is Larry Ellison's the CEO of Oracle, and he's addressing this to Sun customers. Oracle plans to spend more money developing Spark than Sun, spend more money. I don't even know what this means. I have no idea what this is talking about. But this is, you can kind of see the difference between sort of your standard Coke ad and an Oracle advertisement. And they're kind of targeting different demographics, right? People who use Oracle software are probably going to be highly technical and trained and understand what this is about. And so this is an ad that's kind of tailored to people high in need for cognition. Frugality, who can tell us what frugality is?
They can just go without getting something.
Exactly. Here's an example of frugal. So kind of big picture, sometimes, probably, I don't know if it's every semester, but just about every semester I will talk with a student who has graduated and they've got a business idea and they want to come talk about it. And so save yourselves my consulting fee and pay attention to this, because this is what I tell pretty much everybody. There's really kind of a very basic understanding of what marketing is. The first thing, if you're gonna start a new business or you're an existing business and you wanna launch a new product, the first thing to do is to understand the environment. Understand the marketplace or the environment. This is in kind of the marketing lingo, we call it an environmental scan. So I talked to somebody, I don't know if they were in here, they were talking about opening a t-shirt, or starting a t-shirt business. Was it somebody in this class? No? So what kind of stuff would you want to know? What would you want to know in the marketing environment of, if you were gonna start a t-shirt company?
The sizes of shirts that sell, more, you sell, they have 40% more medium shirts than small.
That who sells?
You do. 'Cause
Who's you? 'Cause you haven't sold any yet.
Other companies?
Other companies, we call them competitors. So the first thing is, sort of understanding the competition, right? And part of that would be what products sell and what don't sell. What else would you want to know about the competition?
The demand,
Good, what do you mean by that?
so if there's going to be, if people want to purchase the t-shirts and what kind of t-shirts they'll want to purchase.
Good. What else would you want to know?
Your target market.
We're gonna get to that, because at this point, we haven't decided that yet. Because we're still trying to understand the marketing environment for T-shirts only.
The price they're selling the t-shirts at?
Right, what they're selling at, right? And in thinking about kind of, where competitors are, is there a competitor that sells ultra expensive T-shirts, right? Of course, there's that kind of thing. But, this works for most products. Where are the competitors price-wise? Are they upmarket? Are they kind of mid-market? Are they down-market? What else would you want to know?
You want to know how many competitors you have.
How many competitors? Right.
Where you're selling it, whether it's online or you're gonna purchase a store or something.
Yeah, okay, so how are you gonna distribute it? You also,
It's how big you're gonna go to, like how big your business is affected on how many competitors you have.
right, so, yeah, that's certainly part of your decision about kind of who you're gonna serve. That's getting a little, both of you made points that are kind of getting ahead to step two. But just kind of sticking with step one, what's going on in the marketing environment, you'd also want to know like the price of cotton, right? That's obviously related. Big picture economics, probably not super relevant to t-shirt sales, right? But I imagine that t-shirt sales stay pretty stable through boom and bust cycles. But for some that's not the case. Culturally, there would be some things you'd want to know. As a country, we're getting more casual in our dress, and so culturally that would sort of matter. That would be important to know if it were going the other way. That might be a problem for down the road. Probably more relevant would be, culturally speaking, people are becoming a little more cautious about sugar right now. I mean, we've always got to have a dietary scare, and it seems like sugar's the new one. And so if you were selling candy, that would be something culturally you'd want to look at. So the first thing is understand what's going on in the marketing environment. And then the second step, and a few people have been kind of speaking to this issue, is decide which customers to serve and how to reach them. This is a Nissan Versa. Does anyone know what a new Versa costs? Base model?
17, 14, 12, 10, 8, 7.
It's around $11,000 for sort of base model new Versa. It's the lowest, I think, it's the lowest, it used to be, it probably still is, the lowest price new car that you can buy. So who have they decided to serve?
College students.
College students?
Lower income.
Yeah, people who, say that?
Lower income.
Lower income. So people who don't have a lot of money, but
Still want
want a new car, right? So they've decided, so they understand something about the marketing environment, and they've decided this is who we're going to serve, and what we're gonna serve them up is a Nissan Versa. This is also, well, the term for this is market segmentation. This will be, you know, if you've taken marketing classes before, no question you've seen this term before. But the idea is, we're not going to treat everybody like they're the same. We're gonna group people, we're gonna break people into groups, and then we're going to choose which groups we're going to try to reach. Now, a lot of products, a lot of companies have multiple products, in which case they'll break people into different groups and then try a different product for all of them. This is what Nissan does. This is also a Nissan. It's the GTR. Does anyone know what a GTR costs? That's good. That's good. And so who are they targeting here? College people. Let's be more specific. Who do you think probably would buy the bulk of these?
A guy who would be sad about losing $50.
A guy who would be sad about, okay, now you use the term guy, are you being sexist?
No, there was a guy in here who wouldn't be sad about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, probably guys though. Single people.
Probably guys though, single guys, okay, keep going.
Like a young
Not married.
CEO or.
Yeah, somebody,
Promoted to a manager job.
somebody who's young, male, and has money, probably who they're after right here. And that's the idea of segmenting. Now, so segmenting is breaking people into different groups. So you might break them into different groups and decide this is a group we're gonna serve and not this group, right? So Apple, who now, people have strong opinions about Apple. We can talk about this politely. Who does Apple serve?
The masses.
Young generation.
Hipsters, young people. Which, are they more Versa or more GTR?
I would say GTR.
GTR.
They're more, their products are much more expensive than the competitors, right? They're upmarket. So they're a little bit more GTR than they are Versa, right? Their phones are more expensive than their competition. So what they're segmenting, and they're not trying to reach the Versa audience, the lowest kind of income group. They're upmarket.
Like, and I know that a lot of people like the way Apple, like their layout is, like it's very basic. And I know a lot of people that like Android are really like, it's more complex, like you can do a lot more with your phone. Like my wife always talks about how she just likes, like she tries to mess around on my Android and she just hates it. Because like Apple is very basic in the way that they format things. And I think that's part of their marketing strategy.
So now we kind of started this by talking about traits and talking about, so trait explanations and situational explanations. What are we talking about here?
Traits.
Traits, why?
Because you're gonna divide that into like categories of people because of how they are.
Yeah, the differences between people that are meaningful, right? Income is one of them. A lot of the other things that we've talked about, extroversion, self-monitoring, these are other ways that people differ. The most important for marketing is probably income, but there are others. And then target marketing, so again, segmentation, you break them into different groups. Target marketing, that's where you say, this is who we want to reach. All right, so kind of big picture, this is what marketing is. What's going on in this industry? Who are the customers? Let's break them into groups, and then let's find a product that suits who we want to reach. Burger King, who does Burger King try to reach?
McDonald's customers.
Hungry people.
Hungry people. That is a great situational explanation. But we're looking for trait explanations. By the way, double Whopper with cheese. Except the pickle here, you don't want the pickle.
I think like teenagers, they just came out with those Cheeto chicken fries.
Oh, yeah.
And like they have a partnership with Cheetos, they have a lot of products that coordinate the two. So I think like teenagers or even like 20s, they all grow these Cheetos.
They're marketing this on, or,
Not this burger, but those Cheeto
the
fries.
Cheeto,
on Snapchat.
oh, that's good. That's just,
I definitely agree with the younger thing, because my brother, when they had like the, it was like mac and cheese Cheeto, what are
It
those?
was like, I don't know.
It's like mac and cheese, but they were coated in Cheeto sauce, whatever. And my brother, who's 13, freaked out and like had my mom take him to Burger King, and she was like, I don't understand like why this is a joke. So I think definitely.
has anyone had these Cheeto? No? I've never been so proud of a class before. Was there another hand over here?
Yeah, what about people on the go, like people who live a busy lifestyle maybe?
Yeah. So, Burger King's kind of interesting because they've changed hands several times. Burger King is just, it's a mess, right? I do like the double Whopper with cheese, no pickle. But the company in general is kind of a mess. They've changed ownership several times. I'm gonna show you an advertisement that kind of gets to the heart of this idea of segmenting. Their current strategy is definitely younger, but you'll see who they're trying to reach here, and they're none too subtle about it.
I am man, hear me roar. The number's too big to ignore, and I'm way too hungry to settle for chick food. Cause my stomach's starting to growl, and I'm going on the prowl for a cheesy bacon XXL. Man, that's good. Oh yes, I'm a guy. I'll admit I've been fed quiche. Wait till bye-bye. Now it's the plain grilled beef I reach. I will eat this meat till my age turns into an alley. I am starved. I am incorrigible. Burger, beef, bacon, super cheesy, good thing now.
The cheesy bacon XXL. He's like a man.
All right, can you guys tell who they're trying to reach?
Women.
It's not too subtle, right? So men, but it's more specific than that. What age do you see mostly represented in that ad?
35.
Yeah, 20 to 30.
The largest segment for fast food, especially burgers, is men 19 to about 39. That's the largest group, right? And that's pretty clearly who they're going after, right? So to kind of return a little bit to, there we go. So market segmentation. The idea, this whole idea rests on the idea that people are different and they differ in important ways. That's the trade explanation. And so market segmentation is all about taking advantage of the way that people differ one to another. Roberto.
For stuff like that, like you said, the ages like from 19 to 31 or whatever it was, would it be better to expand that or to just go for the people who are already getting burgers anyway? Or would it be better for them to have gone like with a girl type scenario? I don't know how they would market that.
Well, that's interesting that you say that. That's actually a really good segue for me. I didn't know how I was going to do this, but now thanks to you, I do. So McDonald's. Who does McDonald's cater to?
Moms.
Kids and moms, right? And so there was a lot of competition for the largest segment of consumers, and that's where who competes for men with Burger King?
Carl's Jr.
Carl's Jr. Again, none too subtle about who they're trying to appeal to. Who else? Arby's, right? What it's all about? It's all about the meats. We got the meats, right?
The meats.
Yeah. So they're all kind of going after this one large segment. And McDonald's has a different approach, which they actually changed several years ago. McDonald's used to do a lot of advertising that was on network TV. It was broad and it was kind of trying to reach everybody. And then McDonald's kind of understood that this idea of segmenting makes a lot of sense, and they started to target people by their race, age, and ethnicity, especially gender. They went after women and children and mothers, and they have done extremely well by going after the demographic that none of the other ones went after. And that's sort of to Norberto's point, it sometimes does make sense to go after a segment that other people don't go after, even if it means giving up a little bit that your main core segment. The other thing I want to say about McDonald's is, as I was kind of saying, they used to do a lot of advertising on TV, network TV, and then they started to get into what you would call niches. So they do, like upscale is for affluent African Americans. They advertise there. They advertise on Hispanic pay-per-view. They advertise on a lot of different media that is tailored specifically to ethnicity and gender that they're trying to reach. And one of the interesting things about McDonald's is they don't, most companies have brand managers, so like Frito-Lay would have a brand manager for Cheetos and a brand manager for Doritos. I think they're all the same company. But so they have a brand manager in charge of those products. McDonald's has directors who oversee specific demographics. So their organization is all about segmenting. They're the only, I think, large company that has management that oversees specific demographics.
Have you heard of the term blue ocean?
Blue ocean?
Yeah.
No.
It was in my entrepreneurial, entrepreneurship class, but they were talking about like a company that goes to a place where pretty much no one is, and then like they have everything. I don't know if McDonald's is considered that, just because, I mean, they are targeting what everybody else is not. Or do you have to be like a completely new product offering something to the market that's
No, I don't know, but I like that term, blue ocean. I like that term. That kind of fits, because nobody was trying to sell fast food to women, children a little bit, but McDonald's really was the first to take that segment seriously, and they were really successful with it. Okay. Some of you have probably seen this before. I've used this in class before. Redneck Bank. Really? It's who can read this? Who do we want to read this? Celine. This would sound better with a German accent.
Do I have to?
I mean, yeah.
The one the horse is saying?
Yeah.
It might be hard to believe.
What's that?
That's what you
All right, you sort of get the point. This is owned by, I think, Bank of Wachovia, if I'm not mistaken.
Can we call it?
Well, it used to be Bank of Wachovia, banking division of All America Bank. I don't know if it was sold or if they just changed the name, but there's a large bank that saw a segment that they thought was underserved, right? Which is rednecks. They created an online bank specifically for. I have no idea if this is successful, but it's a great example of segmenting and targeting, right? This is not everybody's a redneck. Redneckism is one way that people differ one to another, and some people would respond to this and some people would not. Who kind of thinks this is, who's considering Redneck Bank right now? Come on. Nobody? Just Hudson?
Yeah, considering it.
Who did Subaru? Well, you tell me, based on the images you see here, who are they targeting? Adventurous people, yeah, look at these, it's pretty clear how they're segmenting people, right, and who they're targeting. They're saying some people are adventurous and outdoorsy, other people aren't. This is who we want to appeal to, right? And they're pretty successful with that. Now, I want to kind of take this topic and kind of do a 90-degree shift on it. Jake?
I had a question about Subaru. So they have WRXs, which is a completely different aspect of their traditional car. Do they do something similar to McDonald's, where they saw a market that nobody was really taking?
I don't know. I don't know that. I mean, the WRX. Most car companies kind of do broad appeal, right? There's only a handful of car companies who are committed to one segment, right? That would be like Lamborghini. There's only one group of people that the entire car company, that the whole lineup is geared to. Most car companies will kind of hit different segments. The one thing I know about the WRX, I think that it's the most ticketed car that there is, which kind of interesting.
Moving or non-moving violations?
What's that?
Moving or non-moving?
I don't know, probably, it's gotta be moving, right? All right, so as I was saying, I wanna go kind of not 180, but 90 degrees on this. So we've been kind of saying that, you know, people differ and that those differences matter as far as targeting and segmenting. But the kind of tendency to see and appreciate differences in people, it extends beyond people. So people see personality not just in people, but in things. There's a fancy term for this, it's anthropomorphism. You don't have to remember that. But anthro meaning people, pomorphism meaning something else. But for example, Marlboro, Virginia Slims, right? They're targeting different people, but the brands themselves have a characteristics that's kind of human, right? This Marlboro is more masculine. Virginia Slims is more feminine, right? A couple other examples. How are these two different? There's lots of different answers you could give, but that's. I'm gonna go with Dell is not cool and Apple is cool. You see this with different product classes. So you see people see personality when it comes to banks. So this logo tells you a lot about it. There's nothing funny about this, right? Banks kind of have that look. Hiking boots tend to be kind of more rugged. If you look at Yves Saint Laurent stuff or Louis Vuitton, everything is kind of snobbish, right? They're advertising. If you look at an Yves Saint Laurent advertisement, you will never see a smile, right? Because they have a personality, and that is to be snobby. I hope I'm not proven wrong here. Right, this is, and pretty clearly, that's almost a smile. But this is what they're going for, right? There you go. Kind of just a generally snobby appearance. So brand personality is one term for it. Kind of a different term for it is archetype. An archetype is it's kind of another term for personality. It's a little bit broader. The wise old man is an archetype that appears in lots of different kind of fictional works, right? It's that the wise old man is considered an archetype, right? Somebody, meaning that's a generic kind of character that lots of different kind of cultures and different people can understand what you're referring to, right? do you guys think would win in a fight? Gandalf. What's that? You say Albus? Yeah, I gotta put, that's a good one, I gotta put him in here. So these are brand archetypes, so in other words, these are kind of personality traits that really reside in human nature, but that we kind of perceive in brands, and that brands are also eager to cultivate. Right? Brands want to be perceived as having, a lot of them want to be perceived as having human-like characteristics. So joker, fun, playful, seductress, the rebel brand, the hero brand, the wise brand, king. Thanks. The mother brand, friend, maiden, dreamer. Where's Johnson and Johnson?
Mother.
I think they fit in rebel. You don't wash your hands, you're a rebel.
Boom. Yeah, way to go. All right, but can you get this one? Seductress. Who thinks seductress? Who thinks maiden? No. It's but it's kind of interesting that almost everybody sees the same thing in the brand Red Bull. This is, we usually get a little disagreement here.
Rebel, hero. It's in the name.
What's that?
The name. I feel like Red Bull.
Again, there's a phonemic similarity. But where do they advertise?
It's like the rebels, the extreme sports.
Extreme sports sounds a little bit more
Alright.
adventurous and brave, so that's where I put them. But this is, you know, you can make a case. These are organized to be kind of similar, right? So these are kind of similar. These are kind of similar. These are kind of similar. ExxonMobil, mother, seductress, joker. I hear their Twitter account is hilarious. What do you say? I'm gonna go with king.
Dreamer. Dreamer or friend.
Wise.
Who can trust Google?
So wise, trustworthy, and wise, idealistic, different, creative. Actually, this is, you could make a fair case for that. But I put them as wise, mostly because they're what they desperately are trying to cultivate is a sense of being trustworthy. And so part of the this one.
Joker?
Joker. Who says Joker? 1 billion points for you guys.
Yes.
I think that's a lot.